At Ultra Cooker, we've just tested the Moulinex Cookeo Infinity, and in this video, we'll give you our honest opinion. If you're interested in this product, we've included a link to the best price just below this video. This multi-cooker is quite large, measuring 40 centimeters high and 37 centimeters in diameter. However, its large 4.3-liter capacity allows you to prepare meals for large families of up to 7 people. During our tests, we found it to be very stable, thanks in particular to its heavy weight of 13 kilograms. Fortunately, it has handles to make it easier to move around. Its color LCD screen is not touch sensitive. To navigate the menu, you turn the knob just below it. And to select an item, you simply press that button. The interface proved to be responsive and easy to use during our tests. The multi-cooker comes with 2 accessories for cooking food on 2 levels, a steamer basket and an air fry tray. This is interesting in theory, but in practice, it was not easy to synchronize cooking times when the foods were different. These baskets are therefore more useful for cooking large quantities of the same ingredient. There's also a paddle at the bottom of the bowl for mixing food, and a condensation collector that sits at the back of the appliance. An alert appears on the screen when the collector needs to be emptied. In terms of maintenance, the basket paddle, pressure lid, and cover can be cleaned with soapy water. They are also dishwasher safe, which is convenient. The heating element should be cleaned after each use with a damp, non-abrasive sponge and dish soap. If there are any food residues, the manufacturer recommends pouring 1 liter of water into the bowl and running the steam and crisp mode for 16 minutes. So much for the design and maintenance. Now let's move on to the features. The Cookeo Infinity has 20 programs: pressure, steam, saute, roast, air fry, manual air fryer, grill, steam and crisp, steam oven, simmer, slow cook, brown, risotto, jam, yogurt, sous vide, dough rising, bread brioche, keep warm and reheat. The keep warm function activates automatically at the end of cooking, which is very convenient. As for the reheat mode, it means you don't need a microwave. Finally, an automatic shut-off feature helps to reduce electricity consumption. We found that the end of cooking signal was loud enough to be heard from a neighboring room, but not unpleasant. This appliance can be used independently, but it can also be linked to the My Moulinex app to access more recipes. This app is intuitive, and connecting it to the Cookeo Infinity was easy during our tests. Approximately 150 Moulinex recipes are included, in addition to recipes created by users. It is possible to change the number of guests so that the quantities are automatically adjusted. Once you have selected the recipe of your choice, you can click on Send to My Product to display the instructions on the screen. You can also type in the name of an ingredient to get ideas for preparations, or find out how to cook it using various modes. Our only regret is that there is no blending program, as this would have really rounded off the package. For example, to make a smooth soup, you have to use a hand blender. So much for the features. Now let's move on to the practical side with our performance tests. We put the air fry mode to the test by preparing nuggets and fries in ActiFry mode. We had to enter the size of the pieces, the total weight, and the desired cooking time. A message on the screen then told us to attach the paddle to the bottom of the container, which avoids having to stir halfway through cooking. To cook the fries, we started with 13 minutes. They looked good and seemed cooked, but weren't brown enough for our taste. We added an extra 2 minutes of cooking time, and the result was better. However, the cooking wasn't perfectly even. As for the nuggets, we were really impressed with the result. After 12 minutes of cooking, and without needing to shake the container, the nuggets were well cooked and crispy. Overall, we found the air fryer function to be very effective. We then tested the more common cooking modes by cooking salmon and potatoes, then by making a complete recipe. When cooking a salmon steak after 12 minutes of cooking on the gentle steam mode, it was completely undercooked. We had to put it back on the same mode for another 10 minutes, and we got a good result. It was cooked through without being dry. To make browned potatoes, we opted for the high browning mode, which required a preheating time. In this mode, the multi-cooker must be left open, as if the food were browning in a frying pan. We added olive oil, thyme, and basil. After 30 minutes of browning, the appliance signaled that cooking was complete. Visually, our potatoes looked appetizing, but they weren't cooked through. After an additional 9 minutes, they were still not done. We decided to switch to the high-pressure mode so that the potatoes would finally cook, but the preheating took a very long time. Finally, after 10 more minutes of cooking, the potatoes were finally ready. To finish, we chose a recipe for ricotta and spinach tortellini on the app. When we added the pasta and water, the appliance switched to high-pressure mode. This step is only supposed to take 3 minutes, but the preheating time was again extremely long. What's more, just as the preheating was almost complete, an alert told us to add water. The pasta turned out very well with the ingredients cooked to perfection, but it took us over an hour to prepare. In fact, preheating times are not included in the advertised recipe times. Cooking and preparation therefore take a long time, even though the appliance makes them easier. So there you have our test results. To sum up, the positive points of the Moulinex Cookeo Infinity are its 20 available programs, its easy maintenance, its high-performance air fry mode, and the fact that it can prepare large quantities thanks to its large capacity. As for the negative points, the long preheating and cooking times, and the fact that there is no mixing function as the paddle at the bottom of the bowl is only used to stir the food. That concludes our test. Thank you very much for watching. As a reminder, you will find the link to this product with its best price just below the video. And if you like honest reviews of multi-cookers, don't hesitate to subscribe to our channel.